Rays home run record books will be rewritten this year with Junior's power.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into the Locked On Rays podcast. Locked On Rays is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And we are Kevin and Ulysses.
We are lifelong Rays fans who've been podcasting about the Tampa Bay Rays since 2019.
On today's show, we'll discuss the Rays still near impossible playoff odds. In a few minutes, we'll explain why Junior Caminero has the potential to hit a lot more dingers this season. But to kick things off, we're diving into why Junior Caminero should be breaking Carlos Pena's team record for homers in a single season.
But first, got to tell you that this episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Football season is around the corner. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now. That's right, Kev. Junior Caminero's power is probably as impressive as anything that we have seen in a Rays uniform. It's on Monday evening, just going twice in a row, and I don't know why some Christopher Walken just came out of me, but I don't know why. That's what Junior Caminero does. He brings the unexpected to the surface. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a fastball up and away. It doesn't matter if it's a breaking ball down and inside. It doesn't matter if it's to right center, if it's to dead center, if it's a pull, if it's barely a home run or a moonshot. Right. He does it all, Kevin. It's really impressive what we're seeing this season. And that's why I think at 39 right now, home runs, he should be breaking Carlos Peña's record of 46 in a single season. That's going to happen.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if he continues to do this again and again and again. I think that, assuming health, he's going to be a perennial at least 35, but maybe more so 40 home run potential candidate year in and year out. Really, if he just does close to what he's done this year, next year, it's crazy to think he will already be on the Rays all-time top home run leaders, top 10 all-time. Number 10 is Randy Arozarena with 85. So in 2 full seasons, more or less, Junior Caminero can be on that list. It just underscores how rare of a talent this guy is. And as I said on Monday, the scouting reports, you always have to take a prospect scouting report with a grain of salt. But he has lived up to every single hype that has been thrown his way, while still trying to work to improve his defense in other aspects of his game. But we can no longer be all that critical of what he's doing defensively or hitting into double plays and all that stuff. The homers, the RBIs, even the doubles, and the impact that he has in the middle of the order, it's extremely, extremely valuable. And I would think that Junior has the potential to get even a little bit better offensively, as crazy as it is to think.
And that's the thing. He's so young, right? His age 21 season, but yeah, he turned 22. With his body not being at its biggest that it'll be, you can just imagine if this is the power that he has right now. I mean, you're looking. I don't like to say these types of like hyperboles, especially with players that are this young. But bro, if he's hitting 40 plus bombs at 21, 22, you telling me that at 25, 26, he can't bob 50? Like, that's the type of I mean, that it's not that far off to think of, because he's doing it currently very young in the league. And I know the detractors are saying, oh, well, it doesn't really count because he's got a very awful walk rate and awful chase rate and the double plays and all that. That's going to get better. Those things usually get better with age. So the fact that he's at this moment in time with 39 homers, there are 30 plus games, 31 games left at the time of this recording, where he needs to hit 7 more to tie Peña, 8 more to get into the record books as number 1. Kevin, I think this is a foregone conclusion that he's going to do it.
I think he is. Really, from what we've seen with the multi-home run games from Junior, just give him a weekend, give him a week, and he can knock 6, 7, or 8 out of the ballpark. And then at some point, I guess it's 50 watch. But I will settle for breaking Carlos Peña's record. And as much as Peña was an ambassador for the organization, and if we remember that year where he hit 46, he was top 10 in MVP voting. It remains to be seen where Junior Caminero will fall on that line. But the fact that, Carlos was, well, let me just put it this way. Junior not only has the potential and ability to break Carlos Peña's 46, but I think he could do it multiple times, where this isn't just a one and done. It's oh my gosh, he's done it 4, 5, 6 years now. What'll be curious to watch going forward, at least next year, is seeing how do the homers translate at Tropicana Field versus playing in Steinbrenner Field. But with everything we've seen and how he's able to have power to all fields, I don't think it'll be an issue. He'll be able to get dingers one way or the other.
And when we talk about his 2025 season, if you split it with the All-Star game, which, by the way, let's not forget that he was on a worldwide stage in the Home Run Derby, and the dude put up a fantastic showing, getting second place. But since the All-Star break, this is his slash line: 284, 333, 664 slugging. 664 slugging. I mean, some players in the Rays lineup don't even have a 664 OPS, let alone a slug of 664.
There's more than a few on that list.
997 OPS since the All-Star break. That's been 34 games, 16 home runs. Again, 16 home runs in 34 games. The way that he's going about it, with 31 games left, I would say he's got 7 more home runs in him to tie, and has 8 home runs in him to take that record. From Carlos. And I love what you said. It could be a situation where we look at in 2030, 2031, and you look at home run totals, single season, and it'll be Junior, Carlos, Junior. Like it could be a situation like that where he, in multiple seasons, just goes for his own record now. Mm-hmm. He has been incredible to watch, but really since the All-Star break, again, 16 home runs in 34 games, and he only needs 7, 8, half to break the record of what he's already done. It's doable, man.
Yeah. Well, he's already tied with Brandon Lau for number 2 on the single season home run list for a Rays player. So I would think he's got 31 games to get to at least 40, but I think he can do a lot better and a lot more than that. Let's just hope that, I guess Brandon Lau and Yandy Diaz stay in the lineup to give him a little bit of support. And that'll be the question, what the complexion of this team looks like next year and how much help he'll get. Because if he's one of the only shows in the lineup, if you're a pitcher, you're pitching around him all day. Hey, we'll give him the 4 balls up and let him take his walk, because we don't want him to beat us. Meanwhile, what we have to see what the new ownership has in store. But I think with every home run, Junior Caminero's price tag for an extension goes up by a couple $1 million. It goes from, all right, 33, 36. You're at 39 now. You get to 40. You break Carlos Peña's mark. That's back up the Brinks truck. I would not be surprised if he would command more than Wander Franco.
When he had 32 home runs, I cheekily said, hey, maybe he has more home runs at the end of the season than Chandler Simpson has stolen bases. And we kind of laughed it off, both of them, of them at that time having 32. Junior Caminero has 39 bombs. Chandler Simpson has 38 stolen bags. So that is now a real possibility that Junior actually ends up with more home runs than Chandler Simpson ends up with stolen bags. And we will tell you that with a month of baseball left, let's find out how Junior can break Peña's record.
Well, August 26th is officially FanDuel Futures Day. It is a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before week 1 even kicks off, this is your moment. So maybe you want to crown the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as the champion in August. Well, you can do that on FanDuel. All you have to do is visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game.
Thank you for watching Locked On Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And if you're listening, thank you also for listening. You're listening, watching, whatever it is. Thank you. So Junior Caminero has a path that is not that difficult to get to 47 home runs. Obviously, us here saying that getting 47 home runs not being difficult is laughable. But in the context of things, with Junior's skill, it's really not that difficult. And I want to break it down because we have 16 games left where the Rays are going to be playing away and 14 games at home. If you look at the breakout between his home runs away and at home, he's got 20 home runs at home and 19 home runs away. It's identical for all purposes of this conversation. So There is no, oh, well, he does better at home. No. He hits them anywhere. And this is going to translate a little bit into park factors, because I looked at park factors for the games that are left away. And the Rays are currently playing Cleveland. They'll play the Nationals, the White Sox, the Cubs, the Orioles, and Toronto. Those are the games that they have away from Tampa. In park factor, the Guardians are 23rd, the Nats are 10th, the White Sox are 19th, the Cubs are 27th, and Baltimore is 11th. And Toronto is 16th. If you're looking at, okay, what does that even mean? Well, park factors, if you're first, your Coors Field, it's a hitter's park. If you're 30th, you're probably going to be in Seattle. Okay.
As an aside, could you imagine if Junior Caminero was in a Rockies uniform?
Oh my God. He already had
55 right now.
Yeah, he already broke 50. So park factor. So with all of those rankings, what does that tell you? Yeah, it's a mixed bag. It's definitely a mixed bag in park factors, but it doesn't sound that hard, because when you look at what Caminero did in the hardest ballpark in Seattle, guys, he went deep multiple times in Seattle, and that's the biggest park. That's the worst park to hit home runs. He hit multiple home runs. In Cleveland, by the way, Cleveland is ranked 23rd in park factor, so it's a difficult park. He went deep twice Monday evening. So it really doesn't matter. Yeah, maybe the Cubs is going to be a little bit more difficult.
Windy City. And I mean, if it cools down a little bit, going into the fall, but he's still a guy that rain or shine, night or day, cold or warm, he's going to find a way to get it over the fence.
I know that we have
the ball hard with his, 100th percentile bat speed.
And I'm not going to make this he's this guy, but we've said and scouts have said the power to all fields is reminiscent of Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah.
Okay. So Miguel Cabrera would have had 600 home runs if he didn't play at Comerica Park. Junior Caminero, it doesn't really, but Miggy did it anyway. He did it anyway because of that amazing power that he had. Junior has that kind of power where it doesn't matter the park factor. And that's why I wanted to bring it up, because it's a mixed bag, but he's already shown that in the most difficult stadiums, he can still go deep. And when we look at the games at home, those 14 games home against Seattle, Cleveland, Toronto, Boston. Only one of those teams, pitching staffs, are in the top 10 in F4. Seattle, 19th, Cleveland, 18th, Toronto, 23rd. So it should, on paper, the park factors is a non-issue for him. And the pitching staffs that he's going to be facing at home, they're not going to be twirling it so difficult that he won't have a chance, Kevin.
Right.
The path to 47 is not that difficult for Junior.
Yeah, and I would think that, let's be honest, and I know this kind of ties into our third segment, but the Rays are not making the playoffs. Extremely, extremely, extremely unlikely to make the playoffs. So, I mean, if I'm being a little bit cheeky here, if you're Kevin Cash, if you're the front office, you want a little bit of a marketing employee. So why don't you do everything that you can to have Junior Caminero break this mark? Like,
what would you do?
It means putting him up in the order a little bit to give him additional at bats. Put him second in the order if you have to. Make him lead off. Have some protection behind him, be it Yandy Diaz or Brandon Lau. And or, I know it's probably against baseball MO, but just say, hey, Junior, we want you kind of swinging for the fences here. Now, if you have a chance to win a game, it just takes something less than that. But I don't know. I think that would be, if the Rays are not making the playoffs and if they're barely finishing 500, what better way to sell tickets and have a nice storyline going into spring training 2026 and going back into the Trop, new ownership, than saying, hey, we have the single season home run king and he's 22 years old. Single season home run king for the Rays organization. And let me also say this about, you made a point, and not to go on a tangent too much here, but you made a couple interesting points. It is crazy that I was pretty much adamant, because I guess I didn't realize that Junior would have such a strong second half, that my feeling was, it's easier for Chandler Simpson to get a bunch of stolen bases in a run versus Junior Caminero getting a bunch of home runs in a run.
Sure.
And now we're seeing it's kind of flip-flopped a little bit. It's a lot easier. It's tough to say easier, but in a way it is easier for Junior Caminero to unseat the home run record books in the Rays organization versus Chandler Simpson unseating the stolen base record books in the Rays organization, because he's got a guy named Carl Crawford and BJ Upton that, were stealing 42 and 50 and 60 bags. So I just wanted to put that out there. Moreover, as much as I liked Carlos Pena and what he provided in the realm of power, the strikeouts were very annoying at times. Yes. And not saying that Junior Caminero is Ichiro Suzuki, but if you look at the strikeout rates and, the number of strikeouts per home run or vice versa, it's pretty darn respectable. He's actually above average in strikeout rate as a 22-year-old. So I would imagine even that could see an improvement going forward.
Kevin, you might be thinking along the same lines as the Rays front office and Kevin Cash, because Junior has only been batting second 7 times this year. Out of the last 3 games, he's hit second twice.
Mm-hmm.
So there might be something to it. Yes, on Tuesday evening, he was hitting 4th, but on the 22nd and the 24th of August, he was hitting second. So there might be something to it. And look,
what else do the Rays have to promote for the rest of the season?
This is it.
Caminero, and Carson Williams to some extent, seeing what he can do for the next couple of weeks. But it's literally the Junior Caminero show right now.
And the level of, if you're a casual Rays fan, Junior Caminero. If you're a casual Rays fan, I don't think the name Carson Williams has really gotten deep into your lexicon of names of Tampa Bay Rays right now. Like, I'm sure that he will be very soon. But Junior Caminero is already in there in the casual fan. And, the home run derby did wonders for that, for himself and to getting himself acclimated more into the casual fan base. But the 47 home runs needed to break the single season record are definitely in play, and the path to that 47 is not going to be as difficult as some people think that it will be.
No, but what will be difficult, as we've said for a while now, it is still very much a long shot to make the playoffs, and miracles should not be the strategy if you're the Tampa Bay Rays. All right, listeners, we have an important request for you all. Locked On wants to hear from you. We've put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcast even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't, and answer questions about our advertising. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes a survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's lockedonpodcast.com/survey. You can also find the link in the show notes. Thanks for helping out.
Well, I just know that when Kevin Weiss is playing golf, he fuels up by drinking some 5-hour energy transfusion because he likes that grape, ginger, and lime flavored shot. It brings him that iconic taste of golf course favorite, right, Kev?
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head with that one.
Well, but guess what, people? When you do that, just like Kevin does on the weekends, not only is he getting a better game, but he's creating memories with people, friends on the course. And you can do that because golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. And now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. It ends October 31st. Again, visit 5hewin.com for that fabulous trip. Thank you for watching Locked On Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Kevin, we have said it, and we are going to keep saying it. The 2025 season should not be a season where Rays fans to this day on August 26th/August 27th should be thinking playoffs. It is very, very, very unlikely that the Rays going to October because, again, they need 87 wins. They sit at 64 right now. They would need a run of 23-8. 23-8. That would match basically what they did when they were the best team in baseball, when they went 25-9. So I know some people want to be room is on fire, everything is fine sort of thing. We are not those people.
No.
We look at numbers and we try to be a little bit rational and logical. And Kevin, this is still a very long shot.
Yes, it is. And it was great that the Rays won 3 in a row, but they should have been doing that for some time now. You're at the point where you have to sweep a lot of your remaining series to give yourself a chance. And lo and behold, I said it on yesterday's show. You'll take a couple steps forward and then you'll come back to earth. That's just how this team has been. That is how 500 teams are historically. And what do we have right now? As we are recording, as game 2 of the Guardian series is going on, the Rays are being shut out 3-0. Now, having said that, there is a nice sign of Shane Baz maybe figuring some stuff out of he's putting together a solid outing, but you can't win if you don't get any run support and your team doesn't score any runs for you.
Yeah.
Although I will note the Guardians have like one of the worst offenses in all of baseball. But hey, you can only play who's in front of you. So Shane Baz, use that as a building block if you so have to, if you're not going to be shut down or sent to AAA. But
we'll take the we'll take the quality start, the solid start from Shane Baz at any point right now.
Yes.
I mean, he did do the 8 shutty against Kansas City Royals. Obviously not a tremendous offense by any means, but you'll take that any day. With the Rays' chances, I think people get caught up on the 87 wins and then that's it. Like, yes, of course, can they go 23-8? Of course you can, all that. But again, this is not the same thing as 2011 when the Rays were 9 games out following chasing Boston for that wild card. Why is it not the same, people? Because now there are multiple teams ahead of you, and the teams that are ahead of you, the Mariners right now holding that last spot, Royals, Rangers, and the Guardians. So those 4 teams, let's see the head-to-heads. With Cleveland, you've got 4 games at home. You got to win at least 3.
At least 3.
But you got Boston, who is right now at the top of the wild card. You got 3 at home. You got to win 2 or 3.
Right.
Seattle, you got 3 for Seattle. You got to win 3, or at least, well, if they swept you at home and you want to be a playoff team, you have to sweep them. Like, that's where we are right now, where we're talking if they want to get to the playoffs, they got to sweep Boston, or at least win 2 out of 3. They got to win 3 out of 4 against Cleveland, and they have to sweep Seattle. You have to sweep Seattle. And the way that sounds is like, well, that's a lot. It's because it is. And it's because this team is under 500. And there are people out there just saying, no, we still have a shot. Yeah, we still have a shot mathematically. Sure, there's always a shot mathematically. But realistically, now this is the kind of scenario that you've built up. You have to sweep Seattle at home, Kevin.
Yeah, and it's the thing. We can talk about 87 wins, but 87 wins does not guarantee that you're in the playoffs. I mean, it's not like, hey, we got to 87 wins. That means we get a B, right? So we're in. No. You're kind of dealing with a zero-sum game here where there's only a limited number of resources, aka playoff spots, and you might, go on a run and finish with 87. But what about the half dozen other teams that are fighting for positioning there? So it really is a challenge, and it's unfortunate that the Rays built themselves so deep of a hole. I mean, on kind of an interesting front, the fact that they do have a quote unquote 2% chance to make the playoffs, that at least gives us a little inkling of, all right, we'll keep watching for a little bit. All right, they won 3 in a row. All right, you've reeled me back in. But, that's just the fan in us. But if we're being realistic, you got to focus on the individual numbers and statistics and look forward to 2026 and what's going to happen. And I would imagine there's going to be a lot of roster changes and restructuring going on once the new ownership comes aboard, and just getting this team back into a winning path. But
Kevin,
when you've been fumbling around for 140 games or 130 games, you have nobody really to blame but yourself.
The Rays needing to go 23-8, can it be done? Sure. And they reach 87 wins? Sure. Like you said, that doesn't mean anything, because if the Mariners win 88, you're out, right? But let's just say 87.
And you're not sweeping the Mariners. It is
not. You know what? Let's okay, everybody. Let's step into this like Rays positive world where everything works out for us because yay Tampa. Okay, let's everybody step in. Okay, we're in. Okay, we're in. Everybody in. Okay, cool. We're in. All in. Okay. If the Rays go 23-8 and they win 87 games. Guess what? The Mariners need to go 17-14, and they get to 87 wins, people. So, that's the reality here.
Yes.
It's that the Mariners can literally go 3 games above 500. They can just be basically a 500 team, and they get there. That's why it's so improbable, and it sucks to say it because this team showed us in that 25-9 run that they can be one of the most efficient teams, run scoring however they want, with the long ball, with small ball, running, hitting runs, putting bunts down with the first and third, quality pitching from the starters, quality bullpen work. They showed that they can do everything, but they showed it in a 25-9 run. They didn't show it for 162.
No.
And it sucks, but this is the reality here, is that even if they go 23-8 in this Rays awesome world, the Mariners only have to go 17-14
Which can easily be done because, again, the Mariners were a team that made additions. They legitimately boosted their second half chances by going out and making moves for former All-Stars and talents who can buttress the team. Whereas the Rays, whatever you want to, I don't know if you're buying, selling, you're kind of in betweening, but the Mariners were like on an all-out blitz to acquire and go for something this year. And to add insult to injury, to add salt to the wound, I could see a scenario where the Rays play Seattle and, Junior hits like 2 home runs. Hey, he gets the mark there. He breaks Peña's record. Cal Riley, big dumper. He'll hit like 5 home runs in that week. He'll get to 60. That's just, we have Junior and they have, I was going to say Junior on roids, but they have even a more dangerous home run hitter, numerous home run hitters on that Mariners roster.
They needed a lefty bullpen. They went out and got it. They got a first baseman. They needed a first baseman. They got it. They needed a third baseman. They got it. So, yeah. So this is all in to say, do miracles happen? Sure. But miracles should not be the strategy. So out there,
2011 is not the standard. That's
an outlier. And that's why it's so awesome. And that's why we hold it dear to us, because it's an incredible thing that happened that we witnessed. And we should always hold that dear as Rays fandom. But that should not always be miracles should not be the strategy, Kev.
Yeah. That's a documentary. That's not something that is seen every 10 years, every 15 years, maybe every 30 years.
Because it wouldn't be special, right? It's special because it happens every once in a while. It doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah. I guess going forward, if the Rays have playoff hopes and aspirations, I guess depending on how all the realignment shakes out, by August 26th of 2026, 2027, 2028, so on and so forth, you better have darn near close to 70 wins by that point.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're really in a hole there. And you're really battling for positioning. So,
and again, just to close out the episode, people, if we're talking still about playoff odds and all that, that's great. That's awesome. August 26th. Let's get to 500 before we even talk.
Let's not put the cart before the horse on this one.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. On that note, we hope you all enjoyed this episode. For your second listen, check out Locked On MLB Game Night, every game, every night, all season long. That is on the Locked On MLB YouTube channel and wherever you listen to podcasts. We have much more on the Locked On Rays podcast later on this